Welcome back to Channel 9, your go-to place for uncovering hidden treasures in your pocket change. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of 5-cent Jefferson nickels, specifically focusing on coins minted in 1963, 1970, 1981, 1984, 1985, 1987, 1997, 1999, 2000, and 2001. We'll explore their mint marks, conditions, and what makes them so valuable in today's market. Let's go started first up. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1963 Monticello Jefferson nickel without a mint mark. Could this seemingly ordinary 5-cent coin be worth more than just 5 cents? You bet it can. Stick around, because the answer might surprise you. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American currency since 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. It features a portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his iconic home Monticello on the reverse. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin was made to honor one of America's founding fathers. In 1963, over 178 million Jefferson nickels were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, hence no mint mark. But don't let those numbers fool you. Despite the high mintage, certain 1963 Jefferson nickels can fetch a pretty penny today. When it comes to coin collecting, the value of a coin is determined by 3 key factors: condition, rarity, and demand. For the 1963 Jefferson nickel, the lack of a mint mark isn't rare, but its condition, graded by experts, makes a huge difference. Today, a coin in fine condition shows some wear but retains most of its major details. For instance, on a 1963 nickel, you should still see Jefferson's parts of the Monticello details, even if slightly worn. The moment you've been waiting for? How much is a 1963 no mint mark Jefferson nickel in fine condition worth today? Let's break it down. In most cases, a 1963 Jefferson nickel in fine condition is worth between $200,000. While this may not sound like a jackpot, coins with higher grades, like extra fine or uncirculated, can reach values of $300,000 or even more if they have unique features, like full Monticello steps. But here's where it gets exciting. Some 1963 Jefferson nickels have rare coins or variations that can significantly increase their value. Keep an eye out for things like, once you've found a coin, you can sell it on platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, or specialized coin marketplaces. Be sure to include high-quality photos and detailed descriptions to attract collectors. So, there you have it. The 1963 no mint mark Jefferson nickel might shrivel to dust, but it's a fascinating piece of history. And who knows, you might just discover a rare gem hiding in your collection. Next up, the Monticello Jefferson nickel from 1970, especially the rare versions with the S mint mark. If you're a fan of coin collecting or just curious about their current market value, stick around as we dive deep into the details of this iconic coin and its impressive value today. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938 and has seen various designs over the years. However, the 1970 issue stands out for collectors due to its design and the quality of the strike. On the obverse, we see a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the 3rd President of the United States, designed by artist Felix Schlag. This design has remained relatively unchanged since its debut in 1938. In the reverse of the coin, you'll find an image of Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia estate. This particular design featuring Monticello was also created by Felix Schlag, and the coin's overall design is both historically significant and artistically striking, representing the nation's heritage and Jefferson's contributions. The 1970 coin, specifically the version with the S mint mark. Mint marks are crucial for collectors because they indicate where the coin was produced. The 1970 Jefferson nickel was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. However, the S Mint mark, which indicates production at the San Francisco Mint, is the one that draws the most attention from collectors. Interestingly, while the 1970 S Jefferson nickel, a special commemorative coin or part of a major series, its mint mark has earned it a spot in the hearts of collectors due to the limited production and its enduring appeal. Keep in mind that the S mint mark is often associated with higher quality strikes, which is a big factor in its market value. Like any coin, the condition of a 1970 Jefferson nickel with the S mint mark plays a massive role in determining its value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. A coin's grade is based on factors like wear, strike, and overall appearance. In the case of the 1970 Jefferson nickel, coins in extra fine condition are among the most sought after. This is an important grading level for collectors because the coin is still in excellent condition and thus it commands a higher price. So, how much is a 1970 Jefferson nickel with an S mint mark worth today? Well, it varies depending on its condition. Jefferson nickel in extra fine condition typically sells for anywhere between $500,000 in the market. It might be as valuable as some of the older or rarer coins, but considering the low cost of the coin when it was originally released, this is a remarkable increase. Of course, if the coin is in higher grades, such as about uncirculated or even mint state, you can expect it to fetch much more, sometimes up to $600,000 or more, depending on the market demand. Coins in near mint or perfect condition can sometimes go for even higher prices in auction settings, especially if they are part of a significant collection. If you're interested in purchasing or selling a 1970 Jefferson nickel with an S mint mark, there are several options available. You can find them on online marketplaces like through coin dealers. Next up, today, we're diving deep into a specific coin that's often overlooked by many but holds surprising value in the market. The 1981 Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark. You may have a few of these lying around in your collection or even in your pocket change. But the question is, do you know just how valuable they are today? Stick around to find out what makes this coin so special and why it could be worth more than you think. Before we get into the numbers, let's take a closer look at this coin. The 1981 Jefferson nickel is part of the ongoing series that has been minted since 1938, featuring the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. On the reverse side, you'll find an image of Jefferson's famous Monticello estate located in Virginia, which is a symbol of his legacy. Now, we all know that most coins from the 1980s aren't exactly rare, and for the most part, they're not worth a fortune. But what about that little P mint mark on the coin? That's where things get interesting. First, a quick lesson for those new to coin collecting. The P mint mark on a coin means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. While the P mint mark is common on many coins today, it wasn't always the case. In fact, the P mint mark was only added to certain coins starting in 1980. So, this coin is a bit of a transition piece from the past. Does this matter? Well, even though it seems like a small detail, the 1981 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark is considered an interesting example for coin collectors because it's part of a period when certain design changes were occurring in the United States coinage. But the real kicker comes when we talk about its value in today's market. The condition of your coin plays a huge role in determining its value. For a typical 1981 Jefferson nickel in average circulation, you're looking at a coin worth just 5 cents. However, if your coin is in very good or excellent condition, it can fetch a much higher price. A coin in very good condition typically shows moderate wear, but the details, especially on the reverse side showing Monticello, are still clearly visible. If your 1981 Jefferson nickel is in extra fine or uncirculated condition, you could be looking at a value that's far higher. The value of a 1981 Jefferson nickel with the PE mint mark can range from around $600,000 depending on the grade and the demand. However, there are specific instances where the price can spike. If you find one in uncirculated condition, certified by a grading company like Delish, and it has significant flaws, the value could potentially reach $200,000. But some rare examples, especially in perfect gem quality condition, have been known to sell for upwards of $700,000 or more at auction. That's a big return on just a 5-cent coin. So what should you do if you think you have a 1981 Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark in great condition? First, inspect the coin carefully. Check for any signs of wear or damage. Coins that are in pristine condition with sharp features and a clean, shiny surface will be the most valuable. Now you might be wondering, how rare is the 1981 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark? The simple answer is, it's not rare in the traditional sense. There were millions of these coins minted in 1981. However, in the world of coin collecting, next up the Monticello Jefferson nickel, specifically the 1984 version with the P mint mark. We're going to break down the history, features, and most importantly, the current market value of this coin when it's in fine condition, the 1984 Jefferson nickel. And as many of you know, it was produced as part of the regular series of coins issued by the U.S. Mint. What makes this one special is the P mint mark, which indicates that it was minted in Philadelphia. The Jefferson nickel has a long history, and this particular version was part of a larger series that spanned from 1938 to the present day. To understand why the Jefferson nickel is so iconic, we need to look at its roots. The coin was first issued in 1938, designed by artist Felix Schlag, and has featured a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, along with his Virginia home, Monticello, on the reverse. This coin was part of a broader initiative to celebrate U.S. history and highlight influential figures like Jefferson, who was the third president of the United States. So, why did the U.S. Mint continue issuing this coin all the way into the 1980s? Well, the coin's design was so beloved by the public, and Jefferson's legacy as a founding father made it an enduring symbol of American values. However, by the 1980s, some changes were being considered for the nickel, although the core design remained unchanged. Now, let's talk about the specific features of the 1984 Jefferson nickel. On the obverse, you'll see the well-known portrait of Thomas Jefferson, along with the inscription, "In God We Trust," the year 1984, and the word liberty. This portrait was struck from a model of Jefferson made by artist John Reich in the 1800s, which gives the design a historical touch. On the reverse side, you'll see Monticello, Jefferson's home, which is beautifully rendered. This was the first time a U.S. coin featured a building on its reverse side, which added a level of uniqueness to the design. The words Monticello and E pluribus unum are inscribed, as well as the denomination of 5 cents. And remember, this particular version has the P mint mark, which indicates it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. That mint mark is important because, unlike other years where the mint mark could vary between Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, the 1984 Jefferson nickel was only produced with the P mint mark for circulation coins. Now, when it comes to evaluating the value of your 1984 Jefferson nickel, the condition is key. Coin collectors use a grading system to evaluate the wear and tear on a coin. The scale ranges from good to uncirculated, with a variety of intermediate grades. For this video, we're focusing on fine condition. So, what does fine mean for a coin like this? In fine condition, you'll see clear details of Jefferson's face and Monticello. The coin will have noticeable wear, but the design will still be easy to distinguish. It won't be as crisp as an uncirculated coin, but it will still be in decent shape with readable features. So, what's the market value of this coin today in fine condition, the 1984 Jefferson nickel? But it can still be worth a bit more than its face value of 5 cents. Generally, you'll see these coins ranging anywhere from 500,000, depending on the specific demand and how many are available in the market. A well-maintained 1984 nickel in better grades, such as almost uncirculated or uncirculated, can fetch higher prices, with values going into the 800,000 range or more if it's a particularly high-grade specimen. The 1984 Jefferson nickel is a great piece to add to your collection. While it might value right now, it's still a significant coin in terms of American history and numismatics. Keep an eye out for those unique varieties, especially when you're coin hunting, and make sure to check the condition of each coin before making any purchases. And of course, always store your coins safely to preserve their value. Next up, we're diving into a very interesting coin, the 1985 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark. What's even more exciting is that we're looking at one in extra fine condition, which could mean a big value in today's market. So grab your magnifying glasses and let's talk about why this coin might be worth more than just 5 cents today. The Jefferson nickel. This coin has been in circulation since 1938 and features the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, on the obverse. The reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, which has been on the nickel since its debut. This design was created by artist Felix Schlag and is one of the most iconic representations of American coinage. So when you come across a 1985 nickel, you're holding a piece of history. But what makes this specific year and mint mark worth focusing on? This 1985 nickel has a P mint mark, which stands for the Philadelphia Mint. The mint mark is crucial because it helps identify where the coin was produced. For the Jefferson nickel, most years saw coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint, with either a P or no mint mark at all. However, the P mint mark in 1985 gives us a clear indication of where it was made. Philadelphia is home to one of the oldest and most prestigious mints in the USA. Coins produced here often carry a unique collector's value, especially when they are in great condition. Let's talk about condition. The value of a coin can drastically change depending on its grade. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state, with a few categories in between. When we say a coin is in extra fine condition, it means the coin has been well preserved and shows only minor signs of wear. The design is still sharp and the details are quite clear, though you might see a bit of wear on the high points like Jefferson's cheek or Monticello's dome. If you happen to have a 1985 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark in extra fine condition, the market can surprise you. Currently, in today's coin market, you could expect this nickel to be valued anywhere from $100,000 more if it's in superior extra fine condition. The value of the 1985 Jefferson nickel can fluctuate depending on several factors. First off, the overall demand for the coin in the market can affect prices. But there are also other factors to consider. The 1985 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark in extra fine condition may not break the bank, but it definitely holds a nice value in today's market. If you're lucky enough to find one in your collection, it's worth holding on to or even looking into for sale. Next up today, we're diving into the 1987 Monticello Jefferson nickel, specifically the ones with the D mint mark. If you've ever wondered how much these classic coins are worth today, what to look for in terms of condition, and how their market value has changed, stick around, we've got all the details for you. The 1987 Jefferson nickel is part of the series of nickels featuring Thomas Jefferson's portrait on the obverse, with Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, on the reverse. This coin has been a staple of American currency for years and remains a popular choice for collectors. But what about the 1987 variety? What makes it so special, and what can you expect when it comes to its value in today's market? The 1987 Jefferson nickel was minted in two primary versions, one at the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark, and the other at the Denver Mint, which has the iconic D mint mark. For collectors, the D mint mark is particularly interesting because it often holds a slightly different value compared to its Philadelphia counterpart, especially in higher grades. But before we get to values, let's talk about the overall design and condition of these coins. On the obverse, we have the well-known portrait of Thomas Jefferson, designed by Felix Schlag, with the inscription, "In God We Trust," Liberty, and 1987. On the reverse, we see a depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, which has been a part of the design since 1938. You can find Monticello written at the bottom and the words E pluribus unum along the top. Now let's talk about condition. Coin collectors know that the value of any coin, including the 1987 Jefferson nickel, is greatly influenced by its conditions. The features of Jefferson and Monticello are still clear. In this condition, a 1987 Jefferson nickel can typically be worth around 10 to 20 cents. Not bad for a coin that's still in circulation. It could be graded as very fine. In this condition, the 1987 Jefferson nickel might be worth around 20 to 30 cents. The details of Jefferson's portrait and Monticello's structure will be sharp. An extremely fine coin can be valued around 50 cents to $100,000. Uncirculated coins are the ones that hold the most value, especially when they are in pristine condition with no noticeable wear. A 1987 Jefferson nickel in uncirculated condition could fetch around $200,000. The market for coins fluctuates over time. While the 1987 Jefferson nickel is valuable as some older coins, it still sees demand among collectors. The typical 1987 D Jefferson nickel in fine to very fine condition is worth between 10 to 30 cents, which isn't a huge amount. But the key to coin collecting is finding coins in great condition and holding on to them for the long run. If you're looking to sell your 1987 Jefferson nickel, your best options are online auction sites like eBay, or you can visit local coin shops and dealers. Online marketplaces tend to give you a broader audience, but make sure to check if the buyer has good reviews. Next up, the Monticello Jefferson nickel from 1997 with the D mint mark. But we won't just be talking about its design. We'll also be discussing the real value of these coins today, especially if you have one in extra fine condition, the Jefferson nickel. The coin was first issued in 1938, featuring the likeness of President Thomas Jefferson, the third U.S. president. The reverse side of the coin displays Monticello, Jefferson's home in Virginia, which is a symbol of his legacy. Now, you might be wondering why the Monticello design is so important. Well, the design has been part of the nickel for decades and holds a special place in U.S. coinage. But today, we're specifically talking about the 1997 edition of this coin with the D mint mark. In 1997, the U.S. Mint produced the Jefferson nickel with a few distinct characteristics. The D mint mark on this coin tells us that it was struck in the Denver Mint. The 1997 release was part of the regular series, so there wasn't anything overly special about the design or composition. But some subtle factors can affect its value. The condition of your nickel plays a massive role in determining its value. For example, if your 1997 Jefferson nickel has the D mint mark and is in extra fine condition, it's worth more than a typical circulated version. The 1997 Jefferson nickel, a coin in extra fine condition, can be worth more than the typical 5-cent face value. But how much more? All right, let's talk numbers. A standard 1997 Jefferson nickel in average circulated condition usually sells for around 5 to 10 cents, which is just the face value plus a slight premium for its age. But when you move up to a coin in extra fine condition, that value increases. Right now, a 1997 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark in extra fine condition can range from $600,000 depending on the exact quality and where it's being sold. If you have a pristine coin that's almost like new, you might even see A, but keep in mind these values fluctuate. If the demand for Jefferson nickels increases, so too will the price. This can also be influenced by collectors who are looking to complete their sets, especially in higher grades. Now that you know the value of a 1997 Jefferson nickel in extra fine condition, here are a few tips for collectors looking to make sure they get the best value for their coins. So make sure to keep an eye on the market and visit auction sites or online retailers like 4Trends. You can protect the value of your 1997 Jefferson nickel and potentially make a great profit if you decide to sell it down the line. So there you have it, folks. The 1997 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark is a great coin to add to your collection, especially if it's in extra fine condition. Even though it's not a rare or limited edition piece, it's still worth more than face value. Next up, the 1999 Monticello Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark. We'll dive into its history, its features, and most importantly, its market value today. So if you're holding onto one of these, make sure you stay tuned till the end because it could be worth more than you think. The 1999 Jefferson nickel features a classic design that we've seen for decades with Thomas Jefferson on the obverse. This iconic portrait of the Third United States President is the work of artist Felix Schlag, who designed the nickel in 1938. The reverse side showcases Monticello, Jefferson's plantation home in Virginia, which was also designed by Schlag. Now, what makes this specific 1999 nickel special? Well, the D mint mark you see here is crucial. That D stands for the Denver Mint, which is one of the United States Mint's facilities. The mint mark tells us where the coin was produced, and for the 1999 Jefferson nickel, most of the coins were struck at the Denver Mint, but there's a bit more to this story. On the reverse of the 1999 nickel, you'll notice Monticello, Jefferson's famous estate, depicted in fine detail. But here's something interesting. In 1999, the U.S. Mint began a special commemorative design series for the nickel to mark the bicentennial of Jefferson's death. It was a year of celebration and, of course, a big opportunity for collectors. The condition of the coin plays a massive role in its value. A coin that is in very fine condition, like this one, will have a lot of its details still visible, but it may show some light wear and signs of circulation. You'll notice that the design is well defined, but it might lack some of the sharpness you'd see in a coin that's in uncirculated or mint state condition. How much is this coin worth? If you've got a 1999 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark in very fine condition, you're looking at a range of values in today's market. On average, this coin could be worth anywhere from $500,000. It's not a huge fortune, but keep in mind this is a coin that's still in circulation. If you happen to find one in mint state or near mint condition, however, you could see prices climb significantly higher, sometimes up to $100,000 or even more for those in pristine condition. But wait, there's a bit more to consider. The value of coins like the 1999 Monticello Jefferson nickel can fluctuate based on demand, rarity, and market trends. So, if you're looking to sell or trade your coin, it's always a good idea to check with trusted coin dealers or online marketplaces for the latest. So, there you have it. The 1999 Monticello Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark may not make you rich, but it's certainly a nice piece of American history and a worthy addition to your collection. Always keep an eye out for coins in good condition. You never know when you might find a hidden gem in your pocket change. Next up, we're diving into a very special coin, the 2000 Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark, and discussing why it might be worth more than you think, especially if it's in extra good condition. If you're a coin collector or just curious about what coins you might have lying around, stick with us. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, featuring none other than Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his home Monticello on the reverse. The design has seen a few changes over the years, but one of the most notable was the 2000 release. This year's coin was part of the United States Mint's effort to honor Jefferson's legacy and bring attention to Monticello, the historic Virginia estate where Jefferson lived. Now, one of the key things to look for on the 2000 Jefferson nickel is the mint mark. For this particular coin, we're focusing on the D mint mark, which signifies that the coin was minted in Denver. It's important to remember that mint marks can significantly affect the value of a coin. So if you have a 2000 nickel with a D mint mark, it's essential to know if it's in excellent condition. So, what is the value today? A regular 2000D Jefferson nickel in average circulated condition will typically be worth around 5 cents its face value. However, when you have a nickel that's in extra good condition, its value can rise. In fact, it can be worth between $800,000 depending on how pristine it is and its place in the market. But wait, the market for coins is always changing. For example, some collectors and investors are willing to pay top dollar for these coins, especially if they've been well preserved or come from special batches with unique characteristics. In some cases, the 2000D Jefferson nickel could even fetch more than $600,000 or more, especially if it's graded as a higher tier coin, such as a mint state or proof. If you're interested in buying or selling Jefferson nickels, there are plenty of places to start. Online marketplaces like specialized coin forums and local coin shops are great options for both buying and selling these valuable coins. Make sure you compare prices and remember to check the condition and certification of the coins before making a purchase. The 2000D Jefferson nickel in extra good condition can be a great find in today's market. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, keep an eye out for these coins in your change. They could be worth much more than you think. Next up, the Monticello Jefferson nickel from 2001 with a P mint mark. You might have one of these in your pocket or collection today. We're going to break down the details, the condition, and what it might be worth in today's market. The Monticello Jefferson nickel was first issued in 1938, and it has remained a staple in American currency ever since. In 2001, the U.S. Mint produced these nickels as part of the regular series. But that doesn't mean all 2001 nickels are created equal. This particular nickel, with the P mint mark, was minted in Philadelphia, and it can carry more than just its 5-cent face value, if it's in the right condition. On the obverse, you have Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, engraved by artist Felix Schlag. Behind Jefferson, you'll find the words Liberty and the date 2001. On the reverse side, you'll notice Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, and the words U pluribus unum, Monticello, and United States of America. But let's get to the most important part, the value. Now, the value of this coin depends greatly on its condition. Most of the 2001 Jefferson nickels you'll find in circulation today are in what's called fine condition. This means there's noticeable wear, but the details are still visible. You'll see some flattening on the high points and maybe a few scratches or dings, but it's still quite recognizable. This coin, with average wear, is worth just about 5 cents, the same as its face value. But if you have one in uncirculated or better condition, where the coin looks nearly brand new, then the value jumps significantly. An uncirculated 2001 Jefferson nickel, especially one with no visible wear or signs of circulation, can be worth anywhere from $900,000. But here's where it gets interesting. If you have a proof version of this coin, which was struck specifically for collectors, it can be worth $100,000 or more, depending on the demand. But what about the rarer pieces? The mint mark is essential for some coins to increase in value, though the 2001 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark isn't the most rare. However, coins that are well preserved, especially those from certain production years, can still be quite valuable. As you can see from this chart, a typical 2001 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark in fine condition holds only minimal value. However, keep an eye on these coins. As time goes on, certain years and mint marks may become more valuable as demand increases from collectors. And here's a fun fact. Did you know that the Monticello 2001 version is a staple for collectors, and while it may not be as rare as other nickels, it still has a strong place in American numismatic history? Whether you're just starting out in the world of coin collecting or you've been in the game for years, the 2001 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark is one worth keeping an eye on. While it's not going to make you rich today, the market can always surprise you, and you might just have a hidden gem in your pocket change. The 2001 Monticello Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on future coin tips and value updates. Leave us a comment below if you have any questions or if you found one of these coins in your own collection. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting.